Davante Adams is the other guy where, yes, he's aging out, but we've seen that second receiver for the Rams be able to eat. Now, I know Al Robinson kind of fell off the cliff, but what we usually see that second receiver do is score touchdowns. Puka Nakua has been receiver one for that team for the last couple of years. Puka doesn't score a lot of touchdowns. That second receiver, whether it's Denard Robinson, whether it was Cooper Kupp, whoever the hell they stuck out there, those are the kind of guys they wind up looking for in the red zone. But Davante Adams showed me last year that he's not completely cooked either. He can still break tackles. He can still make things happen close to the thing. And I think the fact that Sean McVay went out and recruited him, I think there's a plan in place. And one thing I trust with Matthew Stafford, if he has a receiver who's good and get open, he's going to target him the ball. And I think Davante Adams shown you everywhere he's gone, he's always the guy that kind of commands targets. I think that's where he's going to kind of be able to have one last hurrah. I want to have him as a hold for me because I'm not going to sell him, on thinking people are going to buy him on decline. And a guy I still think has potential to have double-digit touchdowns at worst. So the yards might not be what you're hoping for, but I think the floor is there and the ceiling could be there as well. Versus, like I said, at Jerry Jeudy, you got kind of the best you could, and you got 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, I lean towards the Davante side. We'll get into that in a minute, but Dan, I want to kick it to you first.
All right, well, we got Evans. He's a hold. Jeudy's a sell, and Adams is my buy. Adams is a buy for a lot of reasons that Chris just listed out right there. First of all, he's valued least out of the 3 receivers that we're talking about. He's a wide receiver 4 in Dynasty. That makes him pretty cheap to be able to obtain, and Chris, you nailed it on the head. This is an offense that's had top 12 receivers, 2 top 12 receivers pretty consistently when they have those go-to options. And despite all the volatility and everything that was crazy in New York, Adams is still the wide receiver 14 last year. I will take my odds with him at least for one more season with how cheaply I can buy him. Jeudy, you're a sell. He had a breakout season finally midway through his career, and it took a quarterback with a particular set of skills to pull that off, and then Jameis Winston. All right, unless Joe Flacco was able to reconjure the magic he had from a few years ago with Cleveland, what happens if Joe Flacco is the Flacco we saw last year with the Colts? This could get really bad really fast in Cleveland for any pass catcher involved. And if you can sell Jeudy based on his past production from last season, I'm selling it. Right now, he's in the same range as guys like Ricky Pearsall and second-round rookie picks. I'll take any of that over Jerry Jeudy right now. Mike Evans, I'm holding him. Yes, he's 32. He's past that age prime, so you're not going to be able to sell him for what you would want to, but I don't want to. If I'm a contender right now, Evans is a wide receiver 2, at least, period. If he gets you a couple pop touchdowns, he can still be a top 12 guy even at his age in that offense with the way they utilize him. So I'm just going to ride out Evans until the grave. He's one of those players in that situation where he's hit that spot. I'm not moving off of him there either, so he's a hold for me.
I'm pretty close to you. My difference is I'm going to ever so slightly, take Evans over Adams. And my reason being is I think in terms of an NFL wide receiver, I think it's Mike Evans by a mile. I love what Davante Adams, like his role can be, and I think he can do what Cooper Kupp was before he was hurt the last year or two. Not prime Cooper Kupp, get out of the way, but I mean even last season, earlier in the season when Cooper Kupp was healthy, like that version of it where we're getting that 10 to 12 targets still, and he's being that volume hog and working with Puka, which we saw for 6 weeks last season, and then it kind of poof. I think Davante Adams can do that real well. So I'm really excited about him. But again, for Mike Evans, he was at 2.3 yards per route run over the course of the season last season. Mike Evans had, I think in terms of his on-field product, and the injuries are, I mean, look, you're going to have some injuries for big receivers as they get older, but I mean, there's a real argument to be made as an on-field product when healthy that was the best Davante Adams has been in a decade. Genuinely. Or Mike Evans, excuse me. He just had a really strong season. And coming off of that, I'm willing to have him as my buy, whereas Davante Adams was still a really good player, by the way, especially once he got to the Jets. I'm going to go him second, just ever so slightly. And then for me, Jeudy is the sell. Just the quarterback room and him being someone who has been a really good route runner. I think at times overrated, but a really good route runner throughout his career. But I think his overall production has never been so great until this past season, and that felt to me a little bit volume and a little bit necessity based rather than him really coming to his own. Not that he's a bad receiver, but I don't know that he's an elite wide receiver one that maybe the stats might have indicated. So that would be my ranking of the three, as Evans is the buy, the hold being Adams, and the sell being Jeudy. But Dan, I'm gonna kick it to you to wrap us up.
Well, Jeudy, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. All right. So with that, next week, we're going to be talking about if you're a rebuilder, would you buy, sell, or hold certain players in the same tier, again, by position. So make sure you tune in for that. You can always check us out on your favorite podcast app on Operation Domination Football, wherever you listen to podcasts, or follow us on YouTube at FF Advice Net. You can always catch us there or any other of the great Fantasy Football Advice Network shows. You guys be good. We'll see you next week.